Making headlines. The National Disaster Management Council officially endorses the Maldives Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy 2024 to 2030. The government suspends Minister of State for Tourism Muhammad Nihad. The Embassy of China in Maldives donates a road sweeper to Fonadhu Council, Lam Atoll.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafiza Abdul Sattar. And now the news in detail. The National Disaster Management Council, chaired by President Dr. Mohammad Muiz, officially endorses the Maldives Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy 2024 to 2030. The strategy was approved during a National Disaster Management Council meeting held at the President's office on Tuesday.
The Maldives Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy 2024 to 2030 aims to anticipate, reduce and manage the risks associated with both natural and man-made disasters, including climate change. The primary objective of the strategy is to minimize disaster damage by addressing the root causes of risks and vulnerabilities in the natural and built environment, residences and infrastructure. It aims to foster community resilience by focusing on the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. According to a statement by the President's Office, the ratification of the strategy will facilitate the reduction and mitigation of disaster-related risks and contribute to building human capacity in the field of disaster risk reduction. The strategy also aims to strengthen the Maldives' global advocacy efforts against climate change, particularly focusing on the risks faced by small island developing states. The adoption of this strategy aligns with the Goal 5 of Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 2015 to 2030, which emphasizes building back better in recovery, rehabilitation and reconstruction, aiming not only to restore communities after disasters but also to enhance their resilience to future threats. The framework, which mandates the signatories implement disaster risk reduction strategies before 2030, was passed on 18 March 2015 at the UN World Congress in Sendai, Japan. The framework outlines global goals and priorities to reduce disaster risk and enhance resilience. The Maldives stands among the pioneering nations to ratify a national disaster risk reduction strategy, aligning with its comprehensive efforts in climate change adaptation. An annex of the strategy is dedicated to enhancing resilience efforts and improving efficiency through the newly established Disaster Risk Reduction (DRR) strategy and the National Adaptation Plan, both of which are being developed in accordance with the Paris Agreement.
The government suspends Minister of State for Tourism Muhammad Nihad. Nihad was suspended following some controversial remarks he made while speaking at a ruling People's National Congress PNC rally held in the capital Male on Monday evening. However, the government is yet to officially specify the exact nature behind Nihad's suspension. The Embassy of China in Maldives donates a road sweeper to the Fonadhu Council, Lam Atoll. The official handover ceremony of the road sweeper to Lam Fonadhu Council under the Yunnan Hand in Hand program was held at the Ministry of Cities, Local Government and Public Works on Tuesday morning. Speaking at the ceremony, Minister of State for Cities and Local Government and Public Works, Muhammad Ibrahim, said the donation of the road sweeper to the Fonadhu Council is a testament to China's continued assistance and cooperation to the infrastructure development of the Maldives. Fonadhu Council President Ahmad Riaz said the council had requested for the road cleaning vehicle during a meeting with the Chinese embassy for the cleaning and maintenance of the Lam Link Road. Speaking during the ceremony, Charge d'Affaires ad interim of the Embassy of China, Hu Fan, noted the close ties between the embassy and the Fonadhu Council. Fan expressed her hope that the donation would help make Lam Atoll a more beautiful and livable home for its residents, as well as an attractive destination for tourists. She also emphasized that China would continue to support the sustainable development of the Maldives and enhance the well-being of its people. Managing Director of Regional Airports Ahmad Mubin says the primary aim is to upgrade the Kaddu Airport in a way to reap its benefits in a sustainable manner. He made the remarks during a program on PSM News.
This administration awarded the project to upgrade the Kaddu Airport in Lam Atoll to the Chinese firm CAMC in April. Managing Director of Regional Airports Ahmad Mubin disclosed that several issues were identified when the project was drawn up, adding that the project is now being redesigned in collaboration with relevant authorities. According to Mubin, one of the issues flagged is the encroachment of the Maldives National Defence Force MNDF building into the airport expansion. He added that plans are being redrawn to work around the issue. Mubin also said that the airport project is exploring commercial and trade opportunities in the area, adding that it will be put forward to the Economic Council once identified. He said that the primary aim is to make Kaddu Airport a profitable one and noted that the development of the airport will add 5,000 more beds for tourism in the region. Developing Kaddu Airport to international standards remains a presidential pledge of the incumbent president Dr. Mohammad Muiz. Kaddu Airport, the first domestic airport in the country, inaugurated on December 6, 1986, has attracted public concerns over years of neglect and lack of renovations in successive governments.
Stand-on utility company Fenaka Corporation Limited provides 61 new generator sets to 53 different islands in the past year as part of its efforts to enhance power supply capabilities. In a booklet outlining the company's achievements in the past year, Fenaka said it had attached special emphasis to boosting its power supply capabilities. In that regard, Fenaka disclosed that 61 new generator sets have been provided to 53 different islands with a capacity of over 36.7 megawatts to provide sustainable electricity service in these islands. In addition, Fenaka said it had carried out electricity grid upgrades in 20 islands, including renewal of electricity cables, installation of new transformers, and ensuring electricity reliability. Fenaka also said it had prioritized the expansion of electricity services to newly inhabited areas and industrial zones, noting 4 new electricity connections covering 360 households. The company's primary aim in the past year has been to increase the electricity capacity in the most vulnerable islands to ensure power supply without disruption. Officials from the Housing Development Corporation HDC and the Maldives Police Service MPS discussed the ongoing investigation into allegations of unlawful distribution of land plots and housing units under the Bimvaria and Gedorvaria housing schemes. The inquiry was initiated following accusations that individuals not originally listed as recipients in these schemes had been unlawfully awarded land plots and housing units.
The discussions on the ongoing investigations into allegations of the unlawful distribution of land plots and housing units under the Bimvaria and Gedorvaria housing schemes took place during a meeting between HDC Managing Director Muhammad Mauroof Jamil and Commissioner of Police Ali Shujao. According to police, the meeting served as an introductory session for Jamil, who was recently appointed to his role. The deliberations centered on the ongoing inquiry into the alleged unlawful distribution of land plots and housing units. Jamil was appointed as Managing Director of HDC following the resignation of Ibrahim Fazul Rashid on 21st December. Travel bans have also been imposed on Fazul and 19 others. On 23rd December, HDC dismissed several employees connected to the distribution of land plots under the Bimvaria housing scheme. PSM News has learned that 15 employees were terminated, although their positions and responsibilities at HDC, as well as the specific accusations against them, remain unclear. Additionally, the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) has launched a separate investigation into allegations of corruption and abuse of power related to the scandal.
Maldives Police Service MPS raids the home of the former Managing Director of Housing Development Corporation HDC, Ibrahim Fazul Rashid, amid the ongoing investigation into the housing scheme scandal. Police said it had collected evidence including several electronic devices during the raid. Last week, HDC came under heavy scrutiny after it emerged that land plots had been issued to non-recipients under the Bimvaria scheme. In response, the entire HDC board, except its chairperson, was suspended along with the corporation's managing director, Fazul. Fazul has since resigned from the position. Police have also slapped travel bans on Fazul along with 19 others. The Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, meanwhile has also launched a separate investigation into the allegations of corruption and abuse of power involved in the scandal. The Privatization and Corporatization Board, PCB, revokes the suspension of the entire Board of Directors of the Housing Development Corporation, HDC. HDC's Board of Directors, except for the chairperson, was suspended along with the corporation's Managing Director, Ibrahim Fazul Rashid, by the PCP, citing the ongoing investigation into the housing scheme scandal. Last week, HDC came under heavy scrutiny after it emerged that land plots had been issued to non-recipients under the Bimvaria scheme. The allegations around Fazul are particularly controversial as his brother, the now suspended Deputy Managing Director of the Malé Water and Sewage Company, MWSC, Mohammad Fazil Rashid, is directly implicated in the scandal. Fazul has since resigned from the position, and former Minister of Construction and Public Infrastructure, Mohammad Maruf Jamil, has been named as his replacement. Police earlier on Tuesday raided the home of Fazul and confiscated several items, including several devices linked to the investigation. While the police have slapped travel bans on Fazul along with 19 others, the Anti-Corruption Commission has launched a separate investigation into the allegations of corruption and abuse of power involved in the scandal. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite ended higher on Monday as gains by many of the so-called Magnificent Seven tech stocks pushed benchmarks up on a holiday 10th trading day.
With megacap stocks having outsized influence on markets, their performance during a week in which many investors take time off will be even more pronounced. Meta platforms, Nvidia and Tesla all closed high, with Google parent Alphabet also in positive territory.
So there's only, I think, 4 more full trading days after today in the calendar year, and investors are working on both sides of the tape here, trying to buy things in terms that they think going into 2025 would be attractive. At the same time, they're trying to sell things from 2024 that maybe didn't do as well on some tax loss harvesting. That will continue. A lot of that's run through, but you'll continue to see as volume of trading goes down over the last week of the year. Those will be kind of the push-pull things, absent any major economic data, which there really isn't any between now and the end of the year.
The gains helped propel the Nasdaq Composite to its third straight increase and on a second advance in 3 sessions for the S&P 500. The S&P 500 gained 43.22 points or 0.73% to end at 5,974.07 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 192.29 points or 0.98% to 19,764.89. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 66.69 points or 0.16% to 42,906.95.
Members of Donald Trump's presidential transition team are laying the groundwork for the United States to withdraw from the World Health Organization.
According to a health law expert familiar with the discussions, members of Donald Trump's presidential transition team are working for the United States to withdraw from the WHO on the first day of his second term. The Financial Times was first to report on the plans, citing two experts. The second expert, a former White House COVID-19 response coordinator, Ashish Jha, was not immediately available for comment. The Trump transition team did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. The plan, which aligns with Trump's long-standing criticism of the UN Health Agency, would mark a dramatic shift in the US global health policy and further isolate Washington from international efforts to battle pandemics. Trump has nominated several critics of the organization to top public health positions, including Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic who is up for the post of Secretary of Health and Human Services, which oversees all major U.S. health agencies including the CDC and FDA. Trump initiated the year-long withdrawal process from the WHO in 2020, but 6 months later, his successor, President Joe Biden, reversed the decision. Trump has argued that the agency failed to hold China accountable for the early spread of COVID-19. He has repeatedly called the WHO a puppet of Beijing and vowed to redirect US contributions to domestic health initiatives. A WHO spokesperson declined to directly comment but referred Reuters to comments by WHO Director General at a press briefing on December 10th, in which he was asked whether he was concerned that the Trump administration would withdraw from the organization. He said that at the time that the WHO needed to give the US time and space for the transition.
We're ready to work together. And the relationship between WHO and the US, the United States, has been actually a good model of partnership and has been partnering for many years. And we believe that that will be the case. And I believe, the US leaders understand that the US cannot be safe unless the rest of the world is safe.
Furthermore, the WHO Director General voiced confidence that the states could finalize a pandemic agreement by May 2025. Critics warned that a US withdrawal could undermine global disease surveillance and emergency response systems.
The Dutch discover a rare 500-year-old wooden shoe in a cesspit in the city of Alkmaar.
The Dutch are known worldwide for their wooden shoes, but the recent rare discovery of a 500-year-old one in the city of Alkmaar has shown just how widespread their use once was. Archaeologists reveals that the wooden shoe was found in a cesspit in an urban surrounding, making it very special.
And it was found in a cesspit in an urban surrounding. So this is very special because with wooden shoes we always think of farmers using wooden shoes during their work, but actually this was found in an urban context, so in a city of Alkmaar. And they were using this kind of footwear for daily use. So this is very, very nice, and it's so very well preserved.
The wooden shoe was found in a cesspit that was discovered last month during construction of an underground waste container in Alkmaar, around 30 kilometers northwest of Amsterdam. Archaeologists say that the cesspit was used as a toilet and for waste disposal from around 1450 to 1558. The clock, a European size 36, is estimated to have been made at the end of 15th or early in the 16th century.
This is not a working shoe. This is really a shoe for a woman or a man, because this size of shoe can be used by men with small feet or by women with large feet. It's actually a normal size in the medieval times.
This shoe is the first ever found in the Netherlands, made of birch wood, and one of only 44 wooden shoes ever found during excavations in the Netherlands and Belgium.
And that's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.